It is October 4th, 2025. And once again, today we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week and the weeks ahead. My name is Daniel, and I will be your moderator throughout this presentation. And I'm greeting you today, as you may see in the background from our hotel room. We are in New Brunswick, in Fredericton, the capital of New Brunswick, here in Canada, in the eastern part of Canada, and we're here for a wedding. So that's why we have a bit of an unusual setup today. But nonetheless, I hope you can hear me well and see me well. And before we get started, where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Let's have a look. All right. We have Lenny. Hey, Lenny, good to see you from New York City. How's it going over there? Keith from Scotland near the English borders. Hey, Keith, how's it going? We have Danica from K-Town. I know what K-Town is. That's Kaiserslautern, as you would say. Hey, Danica, it's good to have you. Stephen from Singapore. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Hey, Stephen, how's it going over there? What time is it in Singapore right now? I hope it's not too late. Niels from Basel. Hey, Niels, wie geht's? Daryl from San Francisco. Beautiful San Francisco. Hey, Daryl, how's it going? Aubrey from sunny Cyprus, of course. Always sunny in Cyprus. We have Andreas from Mainz. Hey, Andreas, how are you? Eric from Mainz in Germany, of course. Eric from Maryland. Hey, Eric. Frank from Den Haag in the Netherlands. Awesome. Christian from Leeds in Germany. Hey, Christian. It's good to have you. Fires from Toronto. Sorry, David from Toronto, I should say. And not too far away from Montreal, actually, which is our headquarters. And we have Stephen. It's midnight in Singapore, boy. Yeah, thanks, Stephen, so much for staying up late for this session. And we have Larry from Maryland, KJ from California. Perfect. Wow. Once again, a truly international crowd. Awesome. Thank you guys for dialing in. Okay, so let's get into it. Today, once again, we will be looking for swing trades. So swing trades, give or take, have a duration between 2 and 20 weeks. So it's not a day trade where you would open a trade and close the trade within the same day, I should say. And it's also not a long-term investment where you would hold a position potentially for life or for many, many years. So swing trades are right in the middle of these two extremes. And the cool thing is, as you will see with our Liquidity View dashboard, you will be able to find these swing trades in just a few minutes. So maybe 30 minutes, maybe only 10 minutes. It depends how fast you can find these filters. But it's really fast. And this is exactly why we have developed this dashboard, because it will save you a lot of time. And oftentimes, only very few stocks qualify for a particular setups of these thousands of stocks that you could potentially consider. And this dashboard, our scanner, will allow you to find these stocks, these symbols of interest. All right, real quick, for those of you who are joining us for the very first time today, and if you do, please put a 1 into the Q&A box. We are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side, and together with Homa, here in the middle, we have created Trading Indicators about 10 years ago. And about halfway through our journey, Nicholas has joined us here on the right-hand side. And Nicholas is also in the room today, and he will be looking out for your questions. So if you have any questions, guys, please don't hold back. Don't be shy. Put your question into the Q&A box, and Nicholas will bring those to my attention as we proceed through this presentation. And once again, what we're going to be doing today is to scan for stocks and symbols which have very specific technical setups. So what we basically do is we will do or we will use something called technical analysis, which is a pattern analysis of your price chart. We believe that fundamentals are almost immediately priced in, and by focusing on technicals, you not only simplify your trading, but you will also indirectly take into account these fundamental information. All right, so real quick, also a reminder that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, and Donna's saying, yeah, she's the first time joining this this presentation, and she enjoys my German voice. Thanks, Donna. All right, perfect. Okay, a couple of housekeeping items. So first off, we have recorded a very comprehensive bootcamp about our Liquidity View dashboard. It's 3 hours long, and it covers every single feature of this dashboard. So if you are new to the dashboard, I encourage you to take your time to watch this recording at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. We also have a Discord channel, which we try to, use to post some interesting trade setups, some trade ideas, and to help our users getting started. So if you're not part of our Discord channel yet, go to tradingindicators.com/Discord to join our Discord channel. And Nicholas, please put all these links into the chat box if you can. All right, moving on. If you don't have our ebook yet called The Power of Three, where we focus on the three main setups that we will be using today in our scanning session, go to tradingindicators.com/power of three to download this ebook completely free of charge. And Nicholas, please also put this link into the chat box. And if you have, of course, any feedback, any suggestions, anything related to our dashboard or our indicators, please don't hold back. Your feedback is what drives the further development of our indicators, our tools, our scanners. So please don't hold back. Your feedback is highly, highly appreciated. So please put those into the Q&A box or send us an email afterwards. Now, with this out of the way, let's get started with the market review. For this, I'm going to open up our dashboard. So I'm going to go over here. There we go. And let's see what happened last week in the markets. Okay, so starting with the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, opening it up. And it's going to open up right on the right-hand side of my website here, and we can see, well, it is pretty much business as usual. We did have a minor pullback, a level 2 pullback last week. So not the week that just expired, but the week before, which was immediately bought up. And this is kind of the story of the SPY in the last months. Every single pullback is almost immediately bought up. But these ones are nonetheless interesting opportunities to potentially add on to your position. And this is what I'm waiting for right now. When it comes to the SPY, I'm waiting for another pullback to happen, which could then be another signal to me, hey, let's add something to my existing SPY position. Of course, we are very, very bullish in the SPY. Why don't I enter right now up here? Because I still think that, we are so extended. We're so far away from our averages that, the chance of a pullback is not too little. And if this one happens, I don't want to be caught up here buying all the way at the highest possible price. I'll be patiently waiting for a bit of a correction to the downside. Very similar picture in the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF. Opening it up right now. Also, prices here are very extended. We had this minor pullback the week before. A level 1 pullback was bought up immediately afterwards. You can see it here. We traded higher. We reached an all-time high on Thursday. Then a bit of a correction on Friday, but nonetheless, it didn't even register on Trend Radar or indicator down here as a pullback. So everything is green. We are in the ozone layer, as you may say. I think prices are extended, are expensive right now. And I'm hoping and waiting patiently for another pullback to happen. Maybe even a bit of a deeper one, a level 3 pullback or something to add on to my existing QQQ position. What about the Russell? The Russell is very interesting because it is at a critical price level. You'll see this right now. What is happening here? Well, as soon as this chart opens, you see that we did, in fact, have a zone break signal in the Russell on Friday. We made an all-time high on Friday, then prices came down a little bit further, but nonetheless, prices are now above its resistance level here at 244. So this candle, and let me just quickly explain to you what you see here. So our indicator, our liquidity IQ indicator is showing us a zone break signal. And this can only happen if several things are coming together. First of all, we need to break, or price needs to break above the highest resistance level. You can see it here. This green line, there's nothing above it. This is the highest resistance level on the chart. Sometimes, and we're going to see some symbols of this later on today, there are multiple resistance levels on your chart. So for a zone break to qualify as a zone break, it needs to break the very highest level of resistance on your price chart. That's criteria number 1. And why the highest, you may ask? Because we want nothing holding price back above us. So blue skies ahead, prices can fly off from that point on, ideally. So that's criteria number 1. Criteria number 2, we need to see a candle which in its entirety, if I zoom in a little bit bigger here, you can see it in its entirety from low to high needs to be above this green line here. If it still touches this line, it will not qualify as a zone break. We can see it here. This green candle on Friday completely went above this resistance level. So these are the technical criteria that we are looking for, that the indicator is looking for to find these zone breaks. And now, of course, the question is, what's going to happen next? Well, if we can sustain about this level, I believe very firmly that the Russell will push to a much higher price level. This can be the starting point for a big move upwards, because finally, after 4 years of fighting with this level, look what happened here. Like back in 2021, in November or December 2021, we first approached this level. Now, that's 4 years ago. That's a long time ago. We approached this level, then a huge correction to the downside. We reapproached this level in 2024 in November. Big correction once again. But now, I think if we can sustain above this level, we will see a big push towards higher price levels. So this is definitely something of interest to look at on Monday when the market opens. All right. So, what theme am I using for MA Russian Liquidity IQ? I believe there's just one theme here, Bazi. In this dashboard version, the colors are predefined for you and you can't change them. So it's the default theme for this dashboard. All right, so let's move on. Gold. Let's use the GLD ETF. And of course, gold is relentless in its move. Yeah, every week, pretty much, we can call out a new historical high. It happened again. We made an historical high on Thursday. Prices reached 258.70 around this level. Then a bit of an indecisive bar on Friday, but nonetheless, it's just a big right upwards. And here, my approach is once again exactly what was before. I will be patiently waiting, but that's me. Of course, you decide whatever it's best for you, but I will be waiting for something like this. There's a red area here in Trend Radar. I'm waiting for a pullback, at least level 3, before considering getting into a long position in GLD. Because also here in recent history, you can see it here, every single red patch was almost immediately bought up. And I'm waiting for this one patiently. Now, it's been a waiting game so far, not much action happening since August this year. But, sometimes that's what trading is. You wait for the right opportunity. All right. So what about oil? So the United States Oil Fund, USO, let's have a quick look. So oil, I was hopeful. I was hopeful for a brief moment a couple of weeks ago that we may see a push towards my favorite level up here, the 83 price level. This one here, it didn't happen. We went all the way up to 77, but didn't get to 83 by a long shot. So it didn't happen. Now we're back in the soup, as the option professor would say. We're back right in the middle, in between these two extremes, the lower extreme here at around 60 and the upper extreme of around 83, 84, right in the middle now at this intermediate support level. You can see it here. It's a red level. It's at support. We did have a liquidity capture on the last candle, and I would not be surprised potentially if we see a bit of a bounce in the oil market when the market opens on Monday. But for the last couple of months, you can see it here. Prices are just really range bound, sideways with small moves in oil. But nonetheless, Monday, if I had to take a pick, I would imagine we may see a little bit of higher price levels moving into the week. Especially since we also had a liquidity capture event on the very last candle. Oftentimes, these are signs that, the chances of a bounce are bigger than those of a break. So here the bounce will be a bounce towards higher price level. And of course, the break would be a break of support towards lower price levels. All right. So, yeah, Lenny is saying gold is very gappy. Yeah, it is a bit gappy, but nonetheless, the technicals are the fact that it's just so bullish. Yeah, we did have these price gaps, and especially over the weekends, here from the 26th of September leading into the 29th, these gaps can happen, and if it happens over the weekend, it can be bigger. Well, because the market was closed for a sustained period of time, and if something happens over the weekend, which potentially looks at higher inflation or whatever it might be, gold may benefit from this, and it may gap up higher.
Hi,
but to me,
Daniel.
that's not a concern. Yes, Nicholas. Hi.
Bossy wants to know, what theme are you using for MA Russian Liquidity IQ? I think
Yeah.
it's luminescent, right?
Yeah, but we discussed this already. We said that a theme on the dashboard you cannot change the theme.
Oh,
So
my
it's
apologies.
just a default theme. Yeah. No worries. Cool. Perfect. All righty. So Bitcoin. Oh yeah, that is getting into two symbols of getting my interest for next week. One is the Russell, the IWM, and the other one is Bitcoin. Are we gonna see a new all-time high in Bitcoin? Maybe. Look at where prices are. It's been an extremely bullish week for Bitcoin. We bounced off beautifully off the support level. You can see here, this was a key support level. It held around 106,000. And we called this out many times in our newsletter. This level better hold up if you want to see a jump higher towards the all-time highs. Well, we saw this jump, a beautiful bounce off support, in a symbol which is long-term bullish. You can see here a beautiful level for pullback. This could have been a nice opportunity to go long Bitcoin. Now, however, we are right at this resistance level with a liquidity capture. And I would not be surprised if we see a bit of a bounce off this level before re-attempting it. But I think Bitcoin now, I think this may be the week or the next 2 weeks potentially where we will see new all-time highs, where we break above this key resistance level here at around 122 or 124,000. So very interesting. And if I switch over to the live market in Bitcoin, now with this live tab here, of course, Bitcoin trades 24/7. It's open on the weekend. We can see prices came down a little bit. Yeah, today you can see it at 121,000 now. So we already do see a bit of this bounce off this key resistance level. It's not a surprise. It's technical analysis. Yeah, resistance and support levels are, at least in our view, key to analyze what is the story of the market and to forecast what may be happening next. All right. Okay, so this was of course the market overview, but let's see what happened now next to our picks that we called out last week. Let's see how we did. Now, sometimes we do better. Sometimes, some setups don't work out. That's completely normal in trading. Trading is a numbers game. So let's have a look what happened to our setups. I'm going to go to our watch list down here in my drop down, all the way down to the weekly swing trades watch list from September 27th, the watch list that we created last week. Let's check it out. All right, so I'm going to start at the bottom here, the Markle group. Let's have a look what we did. In fact, this was actually a setup that we did not in the end favor too much, but nonetheless, it worked out. And we can see it came from our support level here, from this support range, and we bounced a bit higher. So this is one is seems to be working out nicely now. Of course, I want to see this. I want to see prices to go above this upper line of this bear flag here, because as long as this bear flag is there, it might still be seen as a bearish pattern. And if we break this to the downside, a big follow through to lower price levels may start. But right now, so far so good. Kinsale Capital Group, probably the best call that we did last week. What a beautiful move off our support level. We called it out down here when it was here with a liquidity capture, nice bounce, exactly as you would like to see it. So this was probably the best trade that we did call out. So nicely worked out here for Kinsley stock, which is quite volatile. And we actually discussed also last week that and personally, if I didn't do it in the end because we had our live trading workshop with the folks from Wealth Minter in the beginning of last week and I didn't get to it. But if I were to trade this last week, I would have done this with options. So buy call options, which are risk limited, of course. All you can lose is the premium of those options, and these would have been, of course, benefited quite a bit. All right, moving on. Hub24, an Australian stock. Yeah, so far so good. It came a bit below our support level here, but also now trading a bit higher. So this one is in progress. Heidelberg Materials. Yeah, that was a German stock which is struggling a bit with this support level. So it came below it. It's not too far off, and I still think we may see it go to higher price levels. But it's well, those picks where this support level did not hold exactly. So if you guys took the trade, be aware that there's a gap down here which might get tested. And if it does, then prices will go down towards, I believe, this level here at 171. So that's a possibility. All right, Dollarama, a Canadian stock, a dollar store in Canada. Yeah, and it's doing okay. So this level has not changed much. We are bouncing off the support level here. As predicted, we had two nice bullish days on Thursday and Friday, and I believe this could be now the turning point where this correction of this really, really long-term bullish stock, bullish for 1,336 trading days, is now continuing. This trend, bullish trend will continue, and we'll see all-time highs in Dollarama. KC General Stores. All right. Yeah, here we didn't get our fill. It worked out beautifully. I, of course, you know me, guys. I wait sometimes too long. I want to get the perfect entry. I said, hey, I want to see prices to come down to this level. It didn't happen, but nonetheless, this was a nice zone break retrace setup, which just worked out. Just we didn't get in. Our timing was not right here. Amazon. Amazon was, I believe, our trade of the week, if I recall it correctly. Maybe it was the trade of the day in our lunch and learn session. I forget. Yeah. That's an interesting setup to a level 4 pullback on trend radar, and we are near a support level. Here we are still technically what we call a magnet zone in between support and resistance. We're not close enough yet, but I still believe that Amazon can be an interesting long entry opportunity, even at these price levels here, in the anticipation that prices are gonna continue to the upside. So this was last week, and still it's of interest right now. Amazon. Then we have AGM, the only one which didn't work out as I hoped. Yeah, it pushed lower. But you know what? Uh, Oftentimes, and we said it before, oftentimes, if we have, and you see it here, multiple support levels nearby. So we had one here at 168. I thought maybe prices are going to stop there, but we had another one, and we do have another one here at 159. Oftentimes, if this happens, the lower one will be the more powerful support level. So if you're in this trade, I would put my stop definitely below this level somehow, because if you lose this one, then I think we're going to go much, much lower, maybe to 91.90. This would be too much of a correction to me. But if you can hold this level, I think this trade still has a lot of potential to work out properly. But of course, today we don't want to, see what we did last week. Let's see if you can find some interesting setups for this week. Of course, that's what we're here for. So how are we going to do this? Let's check it out. So first off, we are going to follow a systematic process. We're going to look at one setup at a time. We're going to go through potentially 2 or 3 setups today. And based on what we find, we will create a hot list of symbols. All right. And once we have this hot list, which I will also share with you, so if you have access to the dashboard, you can see exactly the watch list which I will be creating. Based on this watch list, we will then go through these stocks one by one more time to find the one which looks the most promising to us. Sounds good? Let's get started. And the first setup, which I like to look forward to, I like to find, is a setup which we call the healthy pullback bounce setup. Sounds complicated? It's quite easy. What is this? Well, first off, what we want to find are symbols which are in a long-term uptrend. Yeah, I can see this one here. This symbol has been trending to the upside for quite some time. So there's a long-term uptrend there. No doubt about this. That's one criteria. But of course, if you are a trend trader, and many of the setups that I like to find are trend trading setups. If you are a trend trader, then there are good moments to get into a trend trade or not so good moments. And for example, of course, hindsight is 2020. Not such a good moment would be up here. Yeah, the ozone layer, where it's very expensive. Yeah, right before a pullback happens. So I don't like these setups because it's too expensive for me. And this is also why in the SPY and the QQQ and gold, I'm waiting. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting for a pullback within a long-term trend. And these pullbacks, these can be identified very nicely by our trend radar indicator, the one down here. So I'm waiting for these pullbacks and then to enter into the long direction. So this is what I'm looking for. And ideally, I want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. Then we have 2 things or 3 things in our favor. Long-term trending stock. And the trend is your friend. Our anticipation is the trend will continue. That's number 1. Number 2, a healthy pullback. We getting in at a cheaper price with less risk on the table. That's a favor to us. Secondly, and thirdly, we are near a key technical level from which we may bounce off from. And then there's one last thing I'm looking for, which is a liquidity capture nearby. Do you see this little shaded area here? That's the bar which goes into support, which goes all the way down into support, a bar which cannot break support. It wicks into it, but it cannot break it, and it has abnormally high volume. And if this happens, oftentimes it amplifies the possibility of having a bounce rather than a break off this level. And this is what we're looking for. So how can we find these stocks with our scanner? So let's see. Back to the scanner, and you can see right now, right off the bat, we are considering right now 5,701 symbols. That's a huge, huge number. And by the way, one thing we're going to have soon is we're going to have some presets that you can do in your settings. Here, that's going to come in a couple of weeks, where you can potentially hide some symbols from some countries that you're not interested in. So some of you, I believe, maybe you're not interested in trading Australian stocks or German stocks or French stock or whatever that may be. You will be able to help to hide these from your scanner to begin with. That's something too, which makes this scanner a bit more clean and easier to use. Okay, so now, how can we find these stocks? So criteria number 1, who remembers? What was it? It was a stock which is in a long-term uptrend. How can we find these ones? Well, we're going to use an indicator called MA Rush for this purpose. Let me give you an example. Let's use this one here, AAME, Atlantic American Corporation, as an example. We can see, okay, this symbol, as per our MA Rush indicator, is currently what? It's bullish. And how do I see this? Well, I see this little bull label on the chart right here. It's the last label. When I go back all the way to the current candle, the last label on the chart, it means this symbol is bullish. And it's bullish for 67 candles. How do I know this? Well, I didn't just count these up here. No, I can see this directly here in my column, in our scanner, an upwards facing arrow with the number 67, meaning this symbol has been in a bullish trend for 67 trading days. All right, so how can we find all the bullish symbols? Well, we can filter for this. For this, I'm going to use the filter symbol to the right of MA Rush here. This is the column in your scanner which corresponds to this indicator. And I will select bullish, which allows me to find all the bullish symbols. And once I click on it, this is instantaneously, you don't have to wait for it. You see that of our 5,700 stocks, only 2,945 symbols are remaining. All the ones which are currently bullish. You can see it here. So that's criteria number one. Done. Criteria number two, who remembers? What was it? We want to find a stock which currently is in a pullback. How can we find this? Well, we're going to use our trend radar indicator for this. And you can see here, for this particular example, the Atlantic American Corporation trend radar is showing us what? Let me make this a bit bigger. It's showing us these 4 lines here. The first 4 lines, the 5 lines here. The first 4 lines are red. This one is red, 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 and red. And the last one, which represents our long-term trend, is green. Meaning, this is a symbol which is long-term bullish. We also can see this in our MA Rush indicator, but currently pulled back 4 levels. You can see prices came down. They became a bit cheaper. Okay? So this is what I'm looking for. How can we scan for this? Well, we're going to go to our pullback column here, which is based on our trend radar indicator. And we will select level 4 pullback. That's my favorite pullback. It's a deep pullback because I want to get the stock as cheap as possible. A stock which is trending to the upside nonetheless. So level 4 pullback, we can see now we're down to only, in quotes, only 329 symbols of our 5,700 symbols. We're narrowing down. We're getting closer to what we're looking for. But of course, there's more to it. We want this pullback. Unlike this stock here, we want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. Is this the case for this stock here? No. Here we are near resistance. Look at this. We're actually near resistance level below this one. We want to be near such a red area here, a red support level. How can we find this? Well, these levels, first of all, are drawn onto the chart based on our liquidity IQ indicator. This one here. See this one? This one in the middle? I disable it. I enable it. That's the indicator which is responsible for drawing these levels. So let's see which symbols are currently trading near support level. And for this, we're going to go to our Liquidity IQ setup column here, and we'll select long bounce. That's the setup where price is near support and may bounce to the long side. Let's do this. And now we're down to 19 stocks. Oh my goodness, that's a very small subset already. And then we can do one more thing. If we find something, we can, in addition to all this, try to find stocks which currently do have a liquidity capture on the last bar. For example, this one here for AIT, we did have a liquidity capture event. You can see it here on the second to last bar. So this one would not qualify. In the end, later on, we're going to loosen this criteria a little bit. Otherwise, you don't have anything left in our scanner. But we could scan for these setups as well for liquidity captures. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to go to our liquidity IQ capture column here. I'll select, I want to see a capture at a support level, which happened at the very last bar, the current bar. Once I do this, now we're down to only 4 stocks. Can you imagine? Of our 5,700 symbols, only 4 stocks qualify. So let's check it out. In fact, one thing I like to do in this case, I like to sort by trend duration. The first one that comes up here is Perella Weinberg Partners. Whatever that stock might be, let's check it out. So we can see it here, that this stock is indeed in a long-term uptrend, but it's coming out of a deep, deep correction. Actually, this one probably would not be my favorite one to trade, but let's just see if it checks all the criteria. Yeah, long-term uptrend, no doubt about this. And actually, a fun fact on this stock, just to explain you a little bit more what you see here. Look what happened to our MA Rush indicator. MA Rush, once this loads, MA Rush went bullish here in August 2023. Nice move. And we have many traders who exclusively trade these signals because, especially in the long direction, these can be great entry points for riding a trend all the way up. So bullish, it went up all the way from around $10 to $26, $27 up here. And then a huge correction, big correction down here. And interestingly, this came off a liquidity capture event here at resistance. So we bounced up this resistance level all the way down to 14. And what I wanted to point out is that, even after this correction, our MA rush indicator did not change its mind. And this shows you something, how conservative this indicator works. And this is by design. We developed this indicator to not like flip-flop you all the time between bullish and bearish and bullish and bearish and so forth. This indicator is stubborn because oftentimes, being patient as a trend trader, waiting out bigger drawbacks is just the right way to do. And the indicator is like very conservative in this way, and only if all the signs indicate a trend reversal, then it will show you a bear flag. But even this big pullback here was not big enough for MA Rush to change its mind. All right, so that's an interesting one. I kind of like it. I'm gonna, add it to our watch list. The only thing which I don't like too much about is that we came from below towards this level. Oftentimes I like to, see prices to come from on top to a support level, and then we're gonna bounce off. Of course, we came from this level here, but previously we were much lower. So, but nonetheless, I'm gonna add this one to our watch list. So for this, I'm gonna create a new watch list. I'm gonna go all the way down here, create a new watch list, and actually, let me quickly, 1 second, see weekly swing trades. Okay, that was the name. All right. I want to give all my watches the same name. So create weekly swing trades, colon, 2025. Oh, it's already October. Oh my God, time flies, huh? October 4th. Oops. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to create this watch list, and I'm going to add this symbol to my watch list. Perfect. And later I'm going to share this watch list as well with you. In fact, let me just do this right now so it's done. So I'm going to go now here to my watch list. I'm going to unshare the one from August 30th. That's old news now. And we're going to share the latest one here, weekly swing trades. And when you log out and log back into your dashboard, you should be able to see this watch list. It's an empty watch list right now because we haven't added anything to it. All right, so I'm going to add this symbol to it. Perfect. All right, that was Oh, sorry, done. I guess I did it before. Okay, so this symbol is now in my watch list. Perfect. Let's just look at a couple of other symbols here in our scanner. Jabil, GBL is the next one. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, interesting. Ooh, this is an interesting one indeed. Let's see what happened here. We went bullish on October last year, so bullish for more than a year. We made all-time highs just recently, here in September. Last month, we came all the way up to this resistance level. We got a series of liquidity captures, then a big gap down. This gap is not closed yet. And now we see this big downwards bar here on Friday and the liquidity capture event. Potentially, yeah, this could be, once again, an interesting long entry opportunity. Anticipating, hey, we're going to bounce off this level towards at least towards this resistance level on top, towards the all-time highs. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. Jabi link. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now, of course, there's some other ones in here, but what I want to do next is, in fact, I want to show you that sometimes, having very, very strict, actually, let me just quickly look at this one here just for the fun of it. Oops, what happened? There we go. Yeah, it's too volatile for me. Sometimes what I want to say is, having too many criteria on your scanner, it will limit your selection or your ideas that you can get. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take away some of these criteria just to have a bit more of a selection here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the filter for the liquidity IQ captures. And in fact, I'm also going to take away these pullback filter. So now we're only, in quotes, only looking for stocks which are near support and which are long-term bullish. And the first one that pops up here is indeed a stock that we had last week already, is Dollarama. So we're going to re-add Dollarama. This was already on our radar last week. We are near this support level, and I do believe it's a Canadian dollar store company. This long-term uptrend is going to continue into the future. Look at this trend. It's beautiful. A bit of a correction here. The only thing I would point out last week as well is this little gap here. This gap was not closed yet. And if we were to test this gap, prices would need to come down all the way to 176. So this is something just to be aware of. If you enter into this trade, be aware that this gap may get tested. All right. Next one, Supply Network Limited. Another foreign company or non-US company, currently at a support level, long-term bullish. But this one I'm going to skip because you can see it comes from below into the support level. That's not my favorite step. I want to come from the top towards this level. Reliance. Yeah, we did have it before, many times before. Also, yeah, a long-term bullish stock, which is caught in a sideways consolidation. You can see it here. It's really sideways right now. We called this out a few times. It's an interesting idea. It's just, the only thing here is that we may, remember when I said, hey, prices may come down all the way to the extremes of the sideways consolidation. This is still a possibility here for Reliance. For this, I'm going to skip this one as well. Because this level, this support level may not be the last resort. Now prices may come down to this or this one during this sideways correction. And also, if we were to trade this to the long side, look at this resistance level forming just on top here at 300. So this stock does not that much room until it hits this level. All right. AIT, Applied Industrial Technologies. Let's check this one out. All right. So long-term bullish stock as well. Yeah, and this one is a bit more interesting. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we are at this key support level. We had a liquidity capture 2 bars ago on October 3rd, on Thursday. And yeah, this could be an interesting one because it seems to me, there's earnings coming out in a couple of weeks. It seems to me that this is a low volatility stock. In fact, on our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday, maybe we're going to analyze this a bit further if prices are still in this level, because this could be an interesting long call option idea if implied volatility is indeed still quite low. I know earnings are coming up. Sometimes this is already priced in. We're going to see. But yeah, potentially long setup for this one as well. So I'm going to add this one to our list. Perfect. All right. Nicholas, are there any questions so far? Because I want to move on to
Yeah.
another setup next.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, we had a comment before. The longer the sideways move, the better the rocket takeoff. Yep, a lot of the time. Lenny wants to know on USO, he's confused again about the liquidity capture event. So why, Daniel, are liquidity captures so technically striking? Why are they important?
I mean, most of it is just observational in our experience. So we trade these all the time. We believe in that. That's just, I guess, sometimes if you're comfortable with a setup, it's just that's very helpful. But you can see it here. So this is a liquidity capture event right here at this resistance level. In our view, these are events which will increase the odds that a bounce is going to happen instead of a break. So in trading, oftentimes you have to do what we call a binary decision. In fact, it sounds complicated, but you have to bet on the fact whether the stock is going to go up for a long trade or go down for a short trade. It's as easy as this. There's only basically 2 directions which a stock can take if you really want to simplify it. So if, let's say, we are here at this resistance level, we have to decide for us whether we think this level is going to be broken to the upside or we're going to be bouncing off the level and going to the downside. That's the only decision we have to make. And one event which helps us to make this decision is this liquidity capture event. And in our view, if it occurs at resistance, it will increase the odds of going to the downside instead of breaking above this level. And if it happens, like in this case here at support level, in our view, it increases the odds of bouncing to the upside instead of breaking this level to the downside.
Thanks,
That's
Dan.
as easy as this. Yeah.
Daniel, and the other ones okay are symbol requests.
Yeah.
And yep, Lenny, yeah, of course, there's also sideways. Sometimes that happens and it often leads to a break of the level if it stays up there or a slow drift downwards. And then we have a question from Anonymous here. Is there a way to center the stock when it appears in the window automatically? Sometimes the stock is zoomed in so close that you have to reconfigure the margins a lot.
Right now, no. But it will be remembered. So let's say you zoom back like this, make it very small, make them really go back and auto adjust it. Next, in fact, if you double click this on the y-axis here, where all the prices are, if you double click on it, it will automatically center this symbol so it fits nicely. But now when I change symbols, I'm going from AIT, let's say, to Reliance, it will keep the same look back period here from February 2022. You can see it here. So if I go here, for example, this stock, no, but I don't contradict myself now, also goes back, yeah, it does, to February 2022. Okay. So that's just, it will be remembered, but initially need to adjust it a little bit manually to the look back period on your chart that you like.
Perfect. Good to continue, Daniel.
Perfect. All right. So let's move on to the next setup because that's a setup I really enjoy. And actually, before I do this, I wanted to show you Netflix real quick. 1 second. Because Netflix, I'm not sure why it didn't come up right now. Oh, maybe I didn't go long enough the list, but Netflix, a very popular stock, of course, is currently in a corrective phase. I'm definitely going to add this one to our list for sure because it is trading right now. You can see it here at a key support level. And it had a liquidity capture event on, was it? Yes, it was on Thursday. Yeah, here on Thursday, liquidity capture right here at this key support level. And if you believe in Netflix, this is a very mighty trending stock. It's like almost parabolic, moving to the upside since February 2023 and even before this. Very, very bullish. If you believe that this bullish trend is to continue, well, this could now be an interesting opportunity to potentially enter into a long trade. Netflix, I just wanted to mention this, that Netflix also is at this interesting support level. All right, so I'm going to add this one to our list as well. Perfect. Done. All right, so now the next setup, I'm going to move over here to our slides just for a second, is a setup which is one of my favorite ones to trade. It happens if indeed a level did not hold. And nothing lasts forever. At some point, levels will be broken. It's just the nature of the game. So when this happens, new opportunities for us arise as well. Because then, instead of looking for a bounce off this level, we are looking for a break off the level and a nice follow through of this break. Meaning prices will continue in the breakout direction for a prolonged period of time. And you would then bet on the fact, hey, this is going to happen. In this case, when support is broken, you would, enter short or use a bearish play here to anticipate your prices are going to come down further and we have a nice follow through after this break. However, and this is where I want to lead up to, sometimes we can see it here a little bit after a break, the market tries to fake you out. It tries to, it comes back all the way to the broken level, which at this point, however, has changed its role. In this case, support will change its role to resistance. So this is your line in the sand for prices to then bounce off this level towards lower price levels. Or here, when resistance is broken, you can see it here, prices go up initially, but then the market tries to fake you out. They come back down to this broken resistance level. And oftentimes this can be a launch pad for prices to trend to higher price levels. And this is my favorite setup, long break or zone break retrace in the bullish direction. How can we find these? Let's see. So I'm going to go back to my scanner. All right, I want to clear out everything in my scanner here. And I will now use two criteria. First off, I'm going to say Rush needs to be bullish. So I'm only looking for bullish stock for the setup. And secondly, I'm using the Liquidity IQ setup column here to filter for long break retrace setups. And once I do this, you will see that of our 5,700 stocks, only a handful will remain. So long break retrace done, and now we're down to 17 stocks only. Can you believe it? Of all these symbols, only 17 remained. Great. And the first one that comes, we even have some currency symbols in here. That's interesting. We'll look at this in a second. So the first one that comes up here is Flex LTD. Let's have a look. Now, bullish for, now a bit, so give me 1 second. Actually, what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to make one quick tweak to the criteria. I'm going to take off the MA Rush bullish criteria here, and there's a reason for this. This is exactly what I wanted to say. Look at this one here, the Madison Square Garden Entertainment Corp. Not for some reason, there's a reason for this. MA Rush does not show any value here. Like there's a dash in there. We're going to change the logic of this at some point. That's on our to-do list. Why is that? Well, that's a stock which in its existence, this symbol has never changed trend direction. We are still in the original trend direction since its inception, since our look back period. And if you go back, it doesn't seem right now, but this is long term. Just go back a little bit further. I thought this was a label here. It's not. This is a stock which is in a long-term uptrend. I don't want to exclude these stuff because sometimes these symbols, if this ever loads. And Nicholas, are you still there? Can you guys still hear me? Oh, oh boy, what happened? Are you guys still there? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. I could not find the mute button.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. I thought there was not sure why this is not loading. It doesn't matter. But all I wanted to say, I didn't want to exclude these stocks which didn't change its trend direction since we used that stock. So now let me go back to my scanner here and let's look at these setups that we find here. And the first one is this Madison Square Garden Entertainment Corp stock. You can see it here. We went above this resistance level, came all the way up to an all-time high last week, and then we retraced a bit lower down. This can be, of course, an interesting long entry opportunity here for entering long into this bullish trend. So potentially this can be one setup. I'm going to add this to our list. So add this to our swing trading list. Perfect. Next one, the National Energy Services Reunited Corp. All right, check this one out. There we go. Once again, a stock which broke recently above its resistance level, came up a little bit, and the market fake out all the way down to here. But to me, this is a setup where this is a bit too shallow for me. Now, this initial break was not really long. It only went up to, maybe 1 point, maybe 8% or 7%, and then we already came down. What I like to see are deeper corrections. And it's actually a nice trick for you to see this because we recently, and I forgot to mention this in the beginning, we recently revised the logic for our 52-week high percent calculation. It used to be a percent value. It was always a percent value. And it shows you how close are we to our 52-week high, the high point for the year, for the last 52 week. We can see here, okay, this stock is fairly close to this high point here. And it shows you, right now, we are, how far away? We are basically maybe 50 cents away, maybe 60 cents, whatever that might be. Okay, and then you would say, okay, let's do the math. What is 50 cents from, this high point? From $11 basically, or from 10.75, that's maybe, I don't know, 4%, 5%. But if you look at the value here, we are more than 10 or almost 10% off our high. And this is where this revision comes in, the logic that we changed here. Because now this percent value only looks at the price span of the last 52 weeks, not for the entire history of the stock. I think that's a much more meaningful calculation now. And if you, for example, look at the stock here, like this one here, actually, let me pick one down here, this one here, JLL, Johns Lang LaSalle Incorporated. It says 78%. It shows you, we are 78% off our high point. And look at this beautiful Zomric retrace setup here, which happens if you find stocks which actually came off quite a bit from the high point, where it's not so shallow. This is what I'm looking for. This is almost picture perfect. Look how beautiful this goes up, goes all the way down to our broken resistance level. This is basically the same picture as this one here. Nice up, nice down, very smooth move to the upside, but also to the downside. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm using this column here to see which ones had the deepest corrections in that regard. That's a nice little addition, I think, to the logic. And soon, on Tuesday already, we will have another column in here, which is the 50-week low percent, which kind of does the same thing, but for the low end of things. And prices come to its near low point for the year. So I'm going to add this one to our list. Very nice symbol. All right. Okay. Which other ones do we have? Let's move on. Let's go to Flex Ltd. Did we have this before? I'm talking too much. Yeah, we did. Okay. We discussed this one. Let's look at this Euro New Zealand dollar symbol here. So this one also, you can see, yes, these ones are happening also for our FX pairs. Yeah. Zone break here. Came up and all the way down. Of course, I'm not going to swing trade an FX pair, but nonetheless, it's interesting to see that this indeed can happen as well for FX pairs. HLI, Julian Loki Inc. Okay, let's check this one out. Yeah, same thing. One nearish the 52-week high. You can see it here. We came up here and then the retracement down. Also an interesting setup here for a zone break retrace setup. Not the cleanest one. I really like the one that we had before, but nonetheless, I'm going to add this one to our watch list. And perhaps one more. Let's go down the list here. Cavco Industries. Whatever they do with an 85% near the all-time high. It's too shallow to me. That's this is actually, that's my view. We broke above resistance here, came up to down, but this is, if anything, I want to wait for prices to come down here to the 553 area perhaps, but a bit too shallow. I'm going to skip this one. And one more, Evercore Inc. EVR. Let's have a look here. Now prices came up. We broke above resistance here. This is a bit of a cleaner setup. That's a nice smooth way up and a smooth way down. And I like symmetry. I like when the upwards move kind of has the same speed as this downwards move, the same duration kind of thing. That looks symmetrical to me. These are my stuff that I favor over ones where it's really erratic. So I'm going to add this one to our list. All right. Perfect. And hopefully you can see how easy it is to mix and match your criteria, to use all this information here on the scanner. We have so many different columns you could use to find the stocks that you are really interested in of these more than 5,700 stocks that we are going through. All right. So, Nicholas, other questions so far, or can we review what we found so far?
Yeah, so let me just take a look here. So we have one from Donna. I'm assuming the bootcamp will guide me on this, but I'm asking here anyways. I enter micro ES and ES on the live chart and get an error that it only exists on TradingView. So will the bootcamp get me answers for this? So I think Donna's trying to open up MES and ES on the chart in the dashboard, and it says that it only exists on TradingView. Like
Oh, that's
by
for the live.
entering it in the
Yeah.
symbol window on
Ah,
the
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, that's for the live mode for this button here. I'm just go to ES. Yeah, this one here, it's a future symbol. And for many stocks, we do have the option to go to live mode, and it will actually show you the live data or slightly delayed data for that symbol. But for futures, for example, even if you go to live, oh my goodness, that's a wrong symbol. That's the problem. Haha, that's not the. I'm going to take a Nicholas. Can you take a note of this?
Sure, yeah.
That's not the right symbol for ES. That's the bug, Donna. We're going to fix this. But if I go to, let's say, the NQs, the Nasdaq 100 futures, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, it's also wrong. That's a bug nut, Donna. Thanks for pointing this out. We're gonna fix it. Yeah,
Perfect. Okay.
absolutely.
And then Lenny says, why does the market try to fake you out? Why does it want to do that? Naive question.
Oh, that's see, I don't question why the market does things. That's this famous quote that if you're trying to rationalize if the market, it will stay. Oh, I forget how the quote goes, but no, I don't know
Market
why
can
that
remain
is.
irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Thanks, Nicholas. Awesome. Um, you know, it's hard to justify these things. I mean, oftentimes it goes back to human psychology, or many people try to do this. If let's say here, prices broke above, and you were long, and you have a nice profit here already, some people will book profits here, closing their position, which can lead to the fact for a temporary reversal, which can then be a nice entry point again. So why that exactly happens is hard to say, but I know for a fact that these patterns they occur and they are patterns that we trust in, and yeah, I think well, now I really give you an edge that you are more often right than you are wrong. Of course, there are no guarantees.
And
All right.
yeah, we have a comment. Supply demand market makers and hedge funds make the market move, oftentimes to get better prices to enter. So, yep, that's definitely a thing as well. And the rest, Daniel, is just symbol requests. So you're good to continue.
Perfect. All right, so let's see what we found for this week. So I'm going to go to my watch list here, which now by now is shared with everyone who has access to the dashboard. We have 8 symbols. Let's see which ones I like best of these 8 symbols. And actually, there's one more. And why I'm a bit jumpy today, because I had the prior webinar with my German clients in German at 10 a.m. this morning. And there was one other symbol which we found. Actually, I don't want to exclude it here. Let me just quickly explain to you what we also found. Then we're going to go through this list, which is EAT. Brinker. Let me just go here. Brinker International. It's a long bounce setup. I guess it didn't go far enough the list when we talked about long bounces, but it's definitely an interesting one because here, yeah, it's a long-term bullish stock, which is going through quite a bit of a correction right now, and we are at this crucial liquidity level here. The support level right around 123. So we come all the way down from 190 to 123. Big correction. And if you believe that this is the end of this correction, then this could be an interesting long entry opportunity, maybe with some call options or something risk limited, because sometimes you don't want to catch a falling knife. But if you believe this could be the end of it, potentially consider also a long position for this one for a bounce towards higher price levels. So I'm going to add this one to our list as well. This was a long bounce setup. All right. Okay, so now let's go through our list. Okay, so all the way down here, our swing trades. I'll take this out here. And we have now 9 symbols here. And I like Brinker. I'm gonna add this one to our list for this reason, because I think there's a chance that this is the end of this correction. Because if not, we may go all the way down here. Then of course this wouldn't pan out. But if this is the end of the correction, maybe call option at this point. Yeah, speculating that prices will bounce off might not be the worst idea. So I'm gonna add this one here. I'm gonna go to my trade notes and add a new trade notes with today's timestamp to go along here. In fact, we had this one here. Look at this. This is a trade note. This is so interesting. From May 3rd, earlier this year, where prices were at this level down here. And we called the long trade here, the bounce trade off this level. Now, once again, we are exactly at this level again at 126. It's very similar. So great, great to see that. So a new trade note with today's setup. Done. Perfect. I like it. All
Yeah,
righty.
this is
So
our bounce, right, Daniel?
That's for a bounce, yeah.
Okay, we had someone comment anonymous, but the long-term dots are red. So on trend radar, it's 5 levels
Yeah,
red.
it means it's just a deeper correction than what trend radar would consider as a healthy pullback. But sometimes, having too many criteria prohibits you from finding some interesting stocks. And you can see it goes down quite a bit. Yeah, this is a significant correction, but these oftentimes can also be the biggest opportunities because there's a lot of room now to move upwards. Yeah, from this support level all the way to like 170. That's a lot of money to be made if that move comes up or materializes. Yeah. Okay, so that was EAT. Let's go long. Jones Long Nassau. I like the setup. It's, I think, a beautiful crafted zone brick retrace setup. Definitely going to add this one here. The idea is to bounce off this level towards higher price level. So I'm going to add this one as well. JLL. All right. Done. Jones Lang LaSalle Incorporated. I wonder what they do. Let's have a quick look just for the fun of it. What do they do? A commercial real estate and investment management company. Okay. All right. Okay. Jabil Inc. And the next one for a long bounce. Yeah. Definitely interesting. Uh, bullish for only 242 trading days, but we did have, yeah, this big bar down, a liquidity capture here. Yeah, potentially of call options. Yeah, it could be a nice long play. So I'm going to add this one to our list as well. So Jabil, and I'm going to put a screenshot with today's timestamp right here. All right, perfect. Moving up, the Perella Weinberg Partners. Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, this one I think I'm gonna skip. You know why? Because there's not enough room to the upside. This resistance level is right up here, and we also kind of came from below here to this support level. Not my favorite, not my cleanest setup. It's you know it's valid, but to me it's just too little room to be made here. Even if you jump up a bit, we are right at this resistance level where we may bounce off from. So I'm gonna skip this one. Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is interesting. Right at this key support level, all the way down here at 1,153. Of course, it's a very expensive stock, so I'm not sure how many of this symbol you could buy. But if you believe in Netflix and its long-term growth, then this could be an interesting step. So I'm gonna definitely add this one to our watch list. So Netflix. Perfect. Okay, done. Next, Evercore Inc. All right, let's have a quick look here. Yeah, nice zone break retrace. I like it. Nice bullish trend. We will add this one to our list. All right, put a screenshot in here as well. And sometimes I add more verbose notes, but we don't have time. You don't want to see me type during these sessions. Julian Low Key Inc. Yeah. HLI. Let's see. Yeah, also a zone break retrace. To me, it's a bit too flat. And we went up a little bit, came down a little, just a bit too short succession. I'm going to skip this one. We already have quite a few zone break retraces. I'm going to move on to the next one. Applied Industrial Technologies. All right, for a long bounce. Yeah, interesting one, especially if option prices are relatively low at this level here. We'll see on Monday when we do our analysis, or on Tuesday in our lunch and learn session, we can maybe look at the symbol a bit more closely. But I'm going to add it to our list here. I'm going to add this trade note of today's timestamp for this symbol because this could be potentially an interesting options play with call options. And MSGE, Madison Square Garden. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, here I want this pullback to go a bit further down. If yes, this could also be an interesting long entry opportunity. So I'm going to add this one to our list. Perfect. Alrighty. I think we do have some interesting symbols for next week. So let's see how this one will pan out. And of course, we're hoping for yet another successful week with our picks. Niklas, are there any symbol requests or questions that we can
Yeah,
go through?
let me come up here. And yeah, Lenny, thank you for that. We prefer to use the Q&A so we can keep track of things easier. Okay, so let me just find the first request. It is Pfizer.
Yeah, let's have a look. I haven't looked at
What
Pfizer
are your
last week.
thoughts on Pfizer? Yeah.
Yeah, it's of course it's very discounted right now. Let's see what happened last week.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Lenny says there's some fundamental news, but the chart is compelling.
Oh, nice. Big move, huh? I didn't look at it. Yeah, actually, if you did discuss it for a different reason, when was it in our lunch and learn, or maybe last week, that if you wanted to get into Pfizer long term, Yeah, maybe that would be the time right now where it's discounted because it's a high dividend paying stock. It's 7% dividend yield, or it was at least last week. If you look at the dividend yield now, 36.35 because prices jumped up, obviously. You could have invested down here, and actually we discussed it off the support level. Ah, but that this move happened, wow, now even above this resistance level, this could not been foreseen. Oftentimes with these pharmaceutical companies, they can be very volatile if some news about new medication, new developments come out. But of course, the overall trend is bearish. Um, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, interesting one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, maybe now ONDS.
ONDS.
Yes.
ONDS? Like
Yes,
this?
that's right.
Oh, let's look on
ONDS.
Trading View. Yeah, ONDS. Ondas Holding Inc. All right, look at this. Wow, very bullish. Parabolic move off the low points. He had $1 all the way to 9. Wow, what a huge move. Now approaching this resistance level. Yeah, if you're already in this trade, congratulations. What a move. Would I now buy it? No, it's too expensive, way too extended, and the chances of a pullback or correction, especially since we're also approaching resistance, are quite high. But of course, if you're in it, that's a great move. Book your profits and run.
For
Yeah,
Tesla now.
yeah. Tesla, of course, we do have in our dashboard, and Tesla actually just bounced off support off resistance. Yeah, we called it out. I think Tesla's a stock that we pretty much discuss every single week, and we called it out. Yeah, also Tesla is subjective to our support levels and resistance levels, and look where prices came to. Yeah, right towards this resistance level here, and a bounce. Technicals, they work for any kind of stock, also Tesla. And if you believe in Tesla's long-term growth, I mean, let's see what happens next week. Maybe it's gonna go even a bit cheaper. Maybe we're gonna close this gap here that we had around 394, but then potentially, enter long Tesla. If you, from an investment point of view, I think Tesla has a lot to offer.
In like the
Because
360s or 370s at that level.
yeah, exactly. If you see that pullback, that could be a nice opportunity. Absolutely.
The next one
Mhm.
is Applied Materials, AMAT. I think it's Applied
Yeah,
Materials.
yeah. Did we just have this discussed? Maybe not. Let's have a look. No, maybe not. Oh yeah. Oh, I think we when did we discuss the stock? Let me just quickly have a look. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, there's no notes here. Okay. Yeah, looks nice and bullish. We broke above this intermediate resistance level here. And you may now say, hey, Daniel, why is there no zone break arrow here when we broke above this resistance level? And remember what I said in the very beginning when we discussed, and I hope I discussed it in this webinar. I had that previous one before. We discussed that for a zone break, to show up in the scanner or on the chart, we need to break above the highest resistance level. Was this resistance level here the highest one? No, it was not. Look, there's one above here. That's the highest one. If prices were to break above this one, we would get a zone break error. Because what we want for a zone break is what we call blue skies or clear skies ahead. Nothing is holding this move back. But yeah, otherwise, it's nice, a nice bullish move here. Maybe wait for a bit of a pullback towards this broken resistance level and do the zone break retrace trade here. Yep.
Thank you. And then the next one is CRML. And the
CRM.
question was, if you don't have it, could you please add it to the list of stocks? So I'm going to note
Nicholas,
that
can you take a
down.
note? Yeah, thank you.
And as well, I'm going to
CRM.
note down ONDS.
Yeah, thank you.
And the next one is PepsiCo. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, we
let
still
me
have to
just do
check.
CRML real quick. Yeah, absolutely. We were bearish. Now we are bullish again, approaching when we approach the resistance level around this area here. Yeah, it's oh, in fact, it's this level up here. Yeah, not sure if I want to enter right now into the bullish trend because we are approaching resistance here and there are liquidity captures. Remember, these are swing trades you're looking for, so shorter duration. There may be a bounce of this level. Yeah. Okay, Pepsi next,
Okay,
and we
yeah,
are
PepsiCo.
yeah, Pepsi. There we go. All right, now bearish for 224 trading days. Nice dividend yield of 4%. Let's have a look. Yeah,
That was
I
a
mean,
great short bounce there, back there.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Liquidity capture. Yeah, nice bounce to the downside. Now we're kind of trading below the support level and we're bearish. So yeah, this looks bearish to me, unfortunately. So I think prices may grind lower. Yeah, I have a
Definitely.
bearish outlook here.
The next one is LAES.
LAES. Wow, lots of symbols we don't have right now on our dashboard. But the cool thing is we are constantly adding new symbols to the dashboard, oftentimes by request. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not for long for me. So if you want to go long this stock at your own risk, we are right at this resistance level, actually in there. We are bearish, we turned bearish, and we have a liquidity capture. That screams a bearish bounce to me. So I would not go long
Definitely,
right now.
definitely.
I would wait to see what happens, but yeah, definitely not long at
And the
this
next one we can
exact
go
price level. Yeah,
you can
go
go
ahead.
back to the dashboard, Ionic, IONQ.
Yeah, IONQ. There we go. All right, long break 15. We broke above resistance 15 trading days ago. Ah, could that be the poster child of a zone break retrace that we had previously? No, not exactly. Okay, so here we broke above resistance. We came up, came down, not exactly like super nearby, but quite nearby, and then the bounce off this level. Yeah, looks bullish to me. And this is actually an interesting setup. Of course, it would have been better to enter here. Could have found this one on Monday or Tuesday if you use the dashboard. That's the beauty about the dashboard, by the way. Every single day, you will find interesting setups. We only are doing these scanning sessions on the weekend, but nothing is holding you back to scan on Monday, on Tuesday, on Thursday, and so forth. So yeah, zone break retrace. Now it seems to me that this is another leg further up. So yeah, definitely bullish. Ionic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because we didn't fully retrace to the zone, yeah, maybe it'll range a bit, but it does look really bullish. And the next one is
Yeah.
CDE.
CDE. Okay. Kerr Mining. Kerr at the heart. In French. All right. Whoa.
Wow.
Long break 40. Look at this one. We broke above resistance 40 trading days ago. Super bullish. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Trend radar has been full green for like a month.
It
More than a
doubled
month.
since like mid-August or August.
Wow. I wonder what they mine. Let me have a quick look at my description here. Gold and silver producer, yeah, of course, they benefit from the big runs up in gold and silver. In fact, that reminds me, let's have a quick look at silver. This is a symbol which I want to add to our market review more frequently, just to see what's going on there. Yeah, just like gold, huh? We broke above resistance and no looking back. I'm waiting for pullbacks also in silver. Okay, but back to the topic.
TTMI.
TTMI, all right. Okay. Oh, it broke 6 bars to go above resistance. Well, bullish. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice breakout move. In fact, if you look a bit closer, we actually had like a mini zone break retrace here. Zone break goes up, goes down. Where does it stop? Exactly at this broken resistance level. And up again. Now, a bit of a correction on Friday, but here I would personally wait till it comes down to this level. If it does, then consider a long entry. But yeah, definitely interesting one.
Perfect. And the last symbol is DAVE, Dave.
D. Oh, Dave. Okay, cool. Oh, Dave and Buster. All right, all
That's
right.
not the symbol.
Oh no, what happened here?
That's play. Dave and
I guess
Buster's
we don't have
Entertainment.
it. Yeah, let's have a look. Dave. All right. I am bullish for quite some time since June 2024. Nice bullish trend. Now we all-time highs in July. Then the correction now, and the sideways correction. Yeah, here I would also wait a little bit until it comes down a bit further closer to this support level here around 180, maybe 185 to consider a long. But yeah, looks nice to me. And even at this price level here, if you anticipate this uptrend to continue, we enter now and scale out and take some profits when it approaches this resistance level here, 247 or 249. Yep, great. Awesome. So let me go back to my slides real quick and just to round it up. So first off, if you don't have access to our great dashboard yet, it's really a trading gem. To us, at least it is. We use it every single day. I use it every single day to find my trades. Yeah, I like to trade options a lot. Sometimes sell them, sometimes buy call options, sometimes I buy the stock outright. Yeah, so that's the dashboard I use for all my trading, for finding the stocks in my portfolio. So it's tradingindicators.com/view if you want to try it out for 1 week, and afterwards we have attractive monthly and yearly offers. And of course, there's no contract. Yeah, if you want to go for the monthly, try it out for a full month. Yeah, you can quit at any time. Hopefully not, but it's possible. And of course, if you had any questions which remain unanswered today, we're always doing our best to go through all the questions. And I know Niklas is probably typing a lot and trying to answer many questions in chat as well. But if there was a question which went unanswered, you can always reach out to us at tradingindicators.com, our homepage. Go to support and contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will go straight to my inbox or Homer's inbox or Niklas's inbox. And we do our best to answer all these questions as soon as we can. with this, guys, I wish you the greatest weekend. Take some time off, recover. I think it's going to be an exciting market next week. So let's prepare for this and then talk to you hopefully soon. When's our next thing? Oh, yeah, it's on Tuesday at our lunch and learn session.
Is it Tuesday now? Yeah, it is Tuesday.
Sorry,
But it's at
no,
11 now, right?
no, it's actually oh, sorry, it's Monday actually. Yeah, it's Monday again. Monday at 11 o'clock, exceptionally this week and also the next week, Monday at 11 a.m. And then afterwards, we should be back to our regular schedule on Tuesday at 12 p.m., which is a bit unfortunate with the timing, with some scheduling conflicts that we had to change it to Monday, but hopefully it's not a big inconvenience to you. With this, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Niklas. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.